Hey, welcome to Live from Dennis's house, the world's only show in the world like this. And today, we have a great show. Oh, by the way, the show airs every Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and Facebook. Make sure you check it out. But today, we have a great show. We're going to be doing Crosby, Stills Nash first album. And my guests are going to be Lou Pucci, Bob Lame, and Phil Bertolo. Did I say that right?
Yes, sir.
Alright, cool. And they are from the band CSNSongs. Did I get that right too?
Yep. CSNSongs.com.
And we are in, I'm going to put all that stuff up when the show airs. I'm going to have all your links, all Facebook, everything. And they've already recorded 2 songs that we're going to be hearing later. And they were beautiful. Better than the original, I gotta say. I was even weeping while they were playing one of these songs.
It was.
So, I dropped my notes now. So, all right. Oh, it's a tradition, by the way, that we smell the album. Pass it around. How's that smell?
You used to keep your weed.
Right in the middle.
You've cleaned some weed on this before, I can tell.
Northern California, right?
Northern California. See, that's the beauty. See, that's what people don't understand. You know, oh, MP3, I got all this great stuff, but no, look at that. You don't have that, and you can't. Like, that's what this is for. You can do many things with this. Yes, and look at this. You can spend all day just listening to this and looking at these pictures. And look at this. You guys look just like that picture, I gotta say. These guys are the best, the world's premiere, I gotta say, Crosby, Stills Nash tribute band. Do you like to be called cover band, tribute band, or?
We're a tribute band.
Yeah.
It's actually a tribute show.
We're a celebration.
We're celebrating. That's right. We celebrate the music.
Yes,
Celebrate the music.
and as you can hear in the background, we're playing Suite Judy Blue Eyes right now, off of this album. This album was released in 1969, May of 1969. All right, now you guys ready for the trivia contest?
Probably not.
I'll give you an easy one. Can you name the members of Crosby, Stills Nash?
Crosby, Stills Nash.
Very good. All right, so now each guy is in the Hall of Fame 2 times. Did you know that? Can you tell us what bands they were from besides Crosby, Stills Nash?
I'm thinking the Birds had to be one of them.
David Crosby, yes,
Crosby
from the Birds. Stephen
Buffalo
Stills,
Springfield.
yes.
And Neil Young, right?
And Neil Young, yes. And where was Nash from?
The Hollies.
Oh, the Hollies, yes, very good. See? You passed with flying colors already. So, let me lower this here. So, we'll get back to that. But that is such a beautiful song.
You know, it was on the back of that album cover.
Actually, I was going to ask that. I was looking at this, and who's this
That
creepy
would be
guy?
Dallas Taylor.
Is he like the drama?
Yeah.
Because I was reading that Stephen Stills played every instrument on the album, right? Pretty much, except for the drums, and this is the drummer, Dallas Taylor. He looks pretty creepy, though. Album, like I said, released in May 1969. Do you guys remember when it first came out?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I wore that album out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because I can't even imagine, you know, because I just, like, I've heard Suite Judy Blue Eyes so many damn times over the years, and you don't even realize that how amazing this must have been when it first came out, and you, like, put it on, and then you're like, wow, what's this, you know? And kids don't have that either today. They got, what do they have? Pharrell Williams doing that Happy song with a nice hat, you know? It's all right, you know? It's a nice little song. But,
Well, it's getting back, though. It's getting back to basics. Just, it's getting back to folk.
Yeah.
Song is very
See, that's what I think. I'm going to take credit for it. I don't know, but
And you should.
Vinyl is making a big comeback nowadays. That Neil Young is actually putting out a vinyl album, and so is David Crosby. David Crosby's already out. It came out earlier this year.
It's a great record if you haven't heard it.
No, I heard a little bit of it. I haven't gotten the album yet, but I got to check that out. And Neil Young, he recorded it at Jack White's studio, and it's just like all cover songs, and it's on vinyl. Oh, it's only on vinyl. You can't get it on CD or MP3 or anything. So I guess I can take credit for that since
Interesting.
since my show came on.
So you started back up again.
So yes, and this past Saturday, did you know this past Saturday was Record Store Day, International Record Store Day?
Was it really?
International.
Yes.
record
So did you go? Or what?
I did go to a record store, and actually I bought this record because I didn't have this one. And this is also the first time ever that I didn't play with the guests. Also, they did their songs without me because Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Dennis would have sounded terrible. But I am so jealous of people that can harmonize and sing. I gotta say, if I could sing, I would be singing down the street. I'd be singing. I'd stop people on the street. Hey, listen to me sing. But you guys, your harmonies are incredible. I gotta say, and I don't fawn over people usually, but you guys are awesome. I gotta say. So congratulations on that. That's something else. I actually have tickets. I'm going to see them in July at the Bethel Woods, upstate New York, because it works out. It works out really good. My brother-in-law has this timeshare at this place right near Bethel Woods. We go up there every year. And last year we said, because we went there. That's the original Woodstock place, and there's like a tour and a museum and all that stuff. But they also have this beautiful theater where they have outdoor shows. And last year Hart was playing when we happened to be up there, so we went to check it out, and it was the most beautiful theater I've ever been at. Wow. So we said, all right, let's see who we're going at the same time this year. Let's see who's up there. And I checked it out, and Crosby, Stills, and Nash were there. I said, oh my God, I got to get tickets. So bam,
it's fate.
We got tickets, and that's gonna be something. And you all play instruments. You all play the guitar too, right? And sing and stuff.
Sing.
Cool.
We're trying to get my stepsister's singer Melanie. Remember Melanie? I don't know. You might be
I know Melanie. It was a roller skate key song.
Yeah, she was at Woodstock.
I'm the youngest of 5 kids, so that's how I know all of those kind of stuff, And what did you say?
So
Your
that's
stepsister's
my
Melanie?
stepsister, yeah.
Wow,
So
that's
we're trying
awesome.
to swing it into her lane a little bit,
Where is she now?
She's all over the place. She spent a lot of time in Australia lately. She's been touring. Yeah, she
Wow.
tours. Her son is an amazing guitarist.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you have to come back on the show with Melanie, and
Okay.
when she's in
She'll have to
town.
work that out.
That'd be awesome. I love that. I don't think I have any Melanie albums, but I will get one for sure for that.
That's it. She'll definitely take offense to that.
Yeah. So, all right. Do you guys remember what was the first album you ever bought?
Me
What?
and the Beatles.
Oh, nice.
No idea.
There you go. Or the last
The
album.
Beatles
How about
count?
that? Of course, Beatles count. Yeah.
It's got to be Beatles.
Yeah.
No idea.
Well, unless you count the 45 Peppino the Little Mouse, which I have.
Is that Lou Monte?
I know the
I did
first
have that,
concert
yeah.
I ever went to.
All right. What's the first concert?
The first concert I ever went to, my mom took us to see the Carpenters
Wow.
at what was called the Garden State Art Center.
Nice.
And then my brother took me to see Jethro Tull at Madison Square Garden.
nice.
Tickets and bread.
There you go.
My first concert was Sly and the Family Stone at Radio City Music
Whoa,
Hall.
that's awesome.
And Kool and the Gang opened up for
Oh,
us.
man.
They came out of the orchestra pit.
Nice.
They came up, they rose up out of the orchestra pit. They
That's
played like
amazing.
an hour and a half, opening set. Then Sly came out, stumbled onto stage, did 20 minutes and left.
They can do that. The first concert I ever experienced was my sister's at Carnegie Hall, New York. I was 12 years old, and going on stage and going like this, looking through the curtain at the hall packed with people. Was
Oh, man.
That's
incredible.
amazing.
But my first show I ever saw was Cold Blood and Tower Power.
No, wow.
That was incredible. That was like
What was the first name?
Cold Blood.
Cold Blood? I never heard of
Tower
them.
Power.
I heard
Yeah,
Tower
man.
Power.
Yeah,
Cold
they're
Blood was
awesome.
the headliner or the opener?
I think that they're both headlining acts. So I don't know who
Because
came
I
out
never heard of
first.
Cold Blood. What are they? Like same thing as Tower
Same
Power?
thing, yup, that
Wow.
funky kind of Tower Power.
I'll have to see. Now I'm going to learn something new. I'm going to go check out Cold
Oh,
Blood
yeah. And they were
after this.
swapping off musicians, the whole
Wow,
thing.
that's
That
cool.
kind of stuff. It was
Yeah, I had a story similar to yours. My first concert that my sister took me to when I was little was David Cassidy at Madison Square Garden.
Wow, right.
And then 2 years later, my oldest brother and sister took me to see the Rolling Stones at Madison Square Garden.
Easy
So,
wow. From David Cassidy to Mick Jagger.
yeah. So that was something. What about you, Teresa? What was your favorite? What was your first concert?
Bruce Springsteen.
Ah,
Ah,
nice.
she-
You must be born in New Jersey.
He's a Jersey.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't go till I was like 30 to my first concert, so.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Deprived child. I would call Dyfus if I was you. That's so funny. Speaking of that, because when I first moved out here, my brother-in-law, my sister, obviously she's from New York as well. She moved out here way before me, and she got married to a Jersey guy. And then I moved out here, like I said, in '89, much later. And then my brother-in-law is a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. He's crazy about Bruce Springsteen, and he's like so mad that he could never meet him and all this stuff. So like after I'm here a week, I went out to Stone Pony to see Jimmy Cliff. And who comes out on stage?
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, yes.
And it's like
There you
he's
go.
hanging out in the Stone Pony afterwards. I'm talking to him and stuff. And my brother-in-law wanted to kill him, so when I got home and told him. So yeah, that was that. So.
I ate strawberry pancakes with him at the Inkwell one night. I went in there after a gig and I was sitting at a table and he sat right down at the next table and he ordered some strawberry pancakes and we were like, everybody was very cool in there. They were all good, you know, until he got up and kind of leaving.
Right.
Then everybody's like, boo, boo. You know.
Let's do a little news now before we get back to the album and that kind of stuff. I got a lot of crazy news stories. I love to do that. I love to report on the how do I describe this? The human wreckage of the world. The news stories that you don't get to see all the time, you know? So,
No shortage.
yes. So I'm always giving a lot of news stories here. So in this one, the first news story, it's actually in New Jersey from Homedale, a guy from Homedale. I better actually, no, I don't need my glasses. Forget that. So anyway, this New Jersey cardiologist racks up $135,000 bill during 4 trips to the Scores strip club in New York City.
I just heard about
But he claims he was drugged during each visit.
Right.
Not
4
just
times.
one time, he was drugged 4 times.
4 nights.
So, yes,
Wow.
he was a heart doctor, was spreading the love at a West Side strip club to the tune of $135,000, court papers said.
How do you do that?
Zayan Yunan
That's a lot of
is
laughs. What is he
stiffing Scores New York on the whopping tab, saying he never stepped foot inside the mammary mecca. But if he did, he must have been drugged, court papers say. He was coherent until he saw the bill, quipped Scores manager
Exactly.
Stephen Hyman.
Snapped it right out.
Keyword
Yeah.
there was stiffing.
So, the Supreme Court lawsuit paints the Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital cardiologist as a repeat customer. He allegedly racked up the hefty bills during 4 trips to the place over a 10-day period last November. He's from Homedale, New Jersey, very close to you. And he voluntarily came to the plaintiff's place of business and requested that they provide him with food, beverages, and services, the suit says. The frisky physician used his American Express card for his house calls, ringing up a total of $135,000, suit says. His father, also a cardiologist, said the bill was on their joint credit card. The younger guy had a change of heart when he saw his bills. He contested the charges, alleging that he was drugged by the plaintiff's employees and thus did not authorize the charges, blah, 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 on the 4 dates. It's not unusual for people to run up high tabs at the club, but it's very rare that they don't pay. We get a lot of very wealthy people here, and you can run up a bill. It's like bottles of champagne can cost $1,000 each, and individual dances $250 per person, etc., etc. But so I don't know what to even say about this.
I want to party with that guy.
Yeah, right.
Come to a
That would be
CSNSongs.
good. Yeah.
I want to hang out with him.
Just-
party.
Yeah, we can charge up a bill and just leave it and say, oh yeah. So
Dad snagged that credit card.
yeah. So that's that for that. So let's see, what's our next story here? All right, here's a good one. The wife of an Illinois man who drowned after a brutal swan attack is suing the condo complex where he tended the birds.
Brutal swan attack.
Exactly. That's what caught my eye there.
It's like
That-
spinal tap.
this is
That's right there with Keith Hammond up
yeah. This is survival of the fittest at its best, a natural selection. If you can't fight off a swan, you don't deserve to live, I guess. Might be wrong because a man died, but this is just how I feel. This guy was, and of course the wife's suing, it's ridiculous. The Hillcrest Property Management and the bosses and all these people for not realizing the danger that the guy was in. He said, what is this? They should have known, and the dangerous propensity to attack. I didn't know swans had a dangerous propensity to swat. So I want to see what exactly happened here. That he was in a kayak, and they attacked him. It was just one though. It wasn't like a 20 of them.
It was
one swan
One
attacked the
evil
kayak,
swan.
threw him into the water, where he struggled to stay afloat as the swan continued to attack. He was soon found and pronounced dead after being taken to the hospital. And the swan is now facing 15 years to life for aggravated assault. So,
Swan was sentenced to Thanksgiving dinner.
yeah, so, all right, so here's another story. I like to report on weird things like this, and, here it is. Usually all my stories are from Florida, because people act like really crazy in Florida for some reason. But I don't have any Florida stories today, but this one's pretty close. It's Mississippi. It's kind of a nice story that a Mississippi man has become the first person in the world with a reconstructed penis to conceive a child. Mike Moore had his sex organ amputated when he was just 7 years old after doctors botched what should have been a routine circumcision.
Oh no!
Oh, that poor kid.
Yes. So can you imagine that? Like, see, this guy should be attacked by the swan. Put that doctor in the room with the swan and see what happens. No, not this guy. The doctor.
That's not the same doctor from Scores.
Yes. It was done on the fourth day when that doctor came back from Scores. He did a circumcision, and that was that. So yeah. So the trauma of this caused this kid to be bullied at school, and he spiraled into a deep depression. So yeah, I was thinking about that. How did this get out that he didn't have a, you know what, like, that's not something you would bring up, right?
No.
Would you? But the kid, maybe in the shower or something, you had to, get seen. But anyway, he, and then his uncle saw that they were doing this routine, and he had 3 operations. They all failed, and then the 4th time, he got lucky. And he actually was married. That's the funny part. He was married before he had the reconstruction. And then after the reconstruction, he got divorced. How did that happen? I don't understand that. How to get married? Like, isn't that a prerequisite to being married? I don't know. But anyway, so after that, he got divorced from his first wife. So now he's got a second wife, and but they still had to have artificial insemination. So I'm not really sure why they need the reconstruction for the artificial insemination. Lots of holes in this story. I don't know where this one's going, but anyway, it gives hope to a lot of people out there. Anyway, but see, you don't even need a penis and you can get married. That's the beauty of the world.
Who he was married to.
This might have something to do with my story from last week. My last week's story was women who were born without a vagina, and they had artificial ones grown in a lab. So maybe it was one of those women he married.
Was their name Barbie?
Yeah. I don't know. It's a crazy, sick world here.
I still do have my Barbie dolls. Yes, I do. Nothing wrong with that.
All right, so now I have one final story to report on, which is the best story of the week, I got to say. That it's entitled, "That's No Place to Pack a Pistol." A Tennessee woman being booked for driving with a suspended license was slapped with weapon charges after cops found a loaded gun in her vagina.
Whoa.
Dallas Archer, 19, was arrested around 3:15 p.m. Monday and brought to the jail, where cops found the tiny gun concealed in her private parts. A female cop was performing a routine search when she noticed an unknown object in Archer's groin. She and another female officer then took the perp into the bathroom, where they discovered the 4-inch revolver. Police said the $250 gun originally belonged to John Souther, a retired car salesman from Kingsport. Souther said it was stolen from his 1994 Mustang last year while the car was parked in front of his home.
So it was snatched.
Gives you a meaning to concealed carry.
That's good. So when they contacted Souther 70, he said, "Oh gosh," when he learned where his gun was found.
Oh,
That was his reply.
that's the worst part of the story.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh.
But then he said,
Holy Toledo.
Where did I leave that gun?
yeah, right. The little fellow, he said, would need a bath and bleach. Archer was charged with gun possession and introducing contraband into a jail and released after posting $6,000 bond. So, I don't know about you, but if I was the owner of that gun, I would put it on display and charge people to
Was it loaded?
see it. Yes, it was
a
loaded.
gun.
Yeah, so
That story could have been a lot worse.
yeah, or he has to explain to his wife now how that gun got there, along with his wristwatch.
A masturbation story gone wrong.
Sorry you had to hear that, Teresa. Imagine that. Imagine being at that house at that time, when 1968 or whatever, in California. That was a whole amazing scene too that they had over there in like the Laurel Canyon section of California.
that's
Like
what
all
Joni
these
did.
people,
Yeah.
Joni Mitchell, Mama Cass. All right, let me ask you: if you were there at that time, would you have done Mama Cass? She was a great talent. A lot of people did, though,
I would have shared a sandwich with
I would.
not the fatal sandwich.
I would have
shared a
You could have saved a life if you shared that sandwich.
I would have
Contrary to popular belief, she did not die eating a
Bologna sandwich?
Okay, that was a
No, that was it.
Yeah, a lot of those are myths, but it's a much better story than the actual
I
life
think
story.
weuld all done Joni though.
I would have
And we probably
but it was a
could have
longer
at
line.
that time, since most of them did.
Hey, it was the '60s.
She's not gonna watch this, is she?
I love her, by the way. She's an amazing talent.
Oh, yes, actually, one of my first shows I did by myself was about Joni Mitchell,
Yeah,
the
she's
Blue
amazing.
album.
Amazing
Yes,
talent.
yes. So yeah, like from that same time, like who else came out of there? Like the Eagles, but that was a little later. But who else was in this Laurel? Oh, the Mamas and the Papas, right? Mama Cass, yeah. And all these people.
The
That.
Birds and Roger
Oh, that's
McGuire.
right. All
Right.
those people.
Right.
So yeah, don't you wish you could have been there? So, all right. So let's wrap up this album. You guys got anything else you want to say? You want to tell any stories about your bands over the years? Any crazy stories you want to report on before we go? That
I'll never tell.
that you can remember or anything? Anyway, I'm gonna smell the album again because it's so good. It takes me right back to being a stupid little kid borrowing my brother's albums back in Queens. And this, I have to do like a record review too. So if I do a record review, I can't be charged with copyright infringement. I looked that up. So this is educational now. And so
It's a great record to review.
I am giving this record a thumbs up. This is absolutely should be in everyone's collection. 2 thumbs up. Let's give it 10 thumbs up, including Christy. That's not her name. Is it? Teresa.
That was last week's show.
Teresa. All right, so we're giving it 10 thumbs up with everybody in here.
Christy
That
was
I
this
think it deserves it.
this is amazing. It has Sweet Judy Blue Eyes, Wooden Ships, Keep Naming Songs,
Marrakesh Express.
Marrakesh Express, Helplessly
We
Hoping.
do all of those.
Yes, all these songs
We
you
actually
guys
do the whole
do.
album,
We do.
pretty much.
Yeah. No, I
And we
got,
want to invite everybody to come see us. Go to our website,
Yes.
www.CSNSongs.com, and
Follow us on Twitter,
follow
Facebook.
us on Twitter, Facebook.
To our Facebook
Join the
page.
party, because that's what we're doing. We're just taking their music out there and we're partying with it, and we just want everybody to party with us.
Yeah.
yes, and I'll put all these links up on. I'll superimpose them so everyone can see it. And that's it. I say go out and buy this album. It only cost me $4.99 just the other day.
stole it.
That's an incredible
Yes,
bargain, man.
yes, and I bought another CSN for $2.99. So
God,
that's cheaper than when they first came out.
it's amazing.
Yeah. So what record stores? Do you guys remember that? Let's talk about that. Do you remember what record stores did you used to shop at when you were kids?
Our records, man.
Tower.
Yeah, there was a record store called The Record Store on Route 9 in Howell.
That's where I got this from.
Yeah.
That's still there.
There you go.
It's been there all these years. How long has that been there?
Long time. Man.
Oh, really? I thought it was like a new one or something.
It's
I
been
said,
a long
oh,
time.
that's
I think
awesome.
it actually moved to different. It was on the other side from where it is now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
it's been
something.
around a long time.
So,
Very cool. Yeah.
Wow.
Trivia time. I'm all living dirt.
I used to go to Sam Goody and
Oh,
TSS
yeah,
and
Goody. Oh, I forgot about
Corvettes
Sam Goody. That's
and
right.
all these places.
Yeah, Sam Goody in the mall. In the
So,
mall.
yeah. All right. Well, our time is up.
All right.
You guys are gonna have to come back and do another show. I know when the perfect time is due. In August. I'm doing a Woodstock show. I'm gonna be doing the Woodstock album.
Come back for the veterans thing, man.
Oh, that's right. Also, I can't forget this. Very important. We're doing a veterans
Benefit.
It's not for wounded veterans. It's for it's one of the veteran benefits, but it's very good for homeless vets and injured vets. And this is going to be at Bud Lake.
Bud Lake, yeah.
And it's going to be
August 9th?
August 9th, I think.
Is it August 8th
August
or
8th or
August
9th?
9th?
Yeah.
But it will be posted on the website.
Cool.
So all my brothers and sisters go there and check it out and see where we're going to be.
Wow, that sounds pretty
It'll be a
far
good
away,
time. It'll
but
be a good time.
I would go.
Heck yeah.
For sure.
Gotta support those vets.
All right. We are done. Our time is up. Thank you guys for coming on. Hold up your cup. Anyone who's got a cup? Live from Dennis's house every Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Woo! We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
It's getting to the point where I'm no fun anymore. I am sorry. Sometimes it hurts so badly I must cry out loud. I am lonely. I am yours. You are mine. You are what you are. Then you make it hard. Remember what we said and done and felt about each other. Babe, have mercy. Don't let the past remind us of what we are not now. I am yours, you are mine, you are what you are, and you make it hard. Oh, oh. Tearing yourself away from me now, you are free, and I am crying. This does not mean I don't love you, I do. That's forever, yes, and for always. I am yours, you are mine, you are what you are, and you make it hard. Something inside is telling me that I've got your secret. Are you still listening? Fear is the lock and laughter the key to your heart. And I love you. I am yours, you are mine, you are what you are, and you make it hard, and you make it hard, and you make it hard, yes, you make it hard. Friday evening, Sunday in the afternoon. What have you got to lose? Tuesday morning, please be gone, I'm tired of you. What have you got to lose? Can I tell it like it is? Help me, I'm Listen to me, baby. It's my Help me, I'm crying. That's what I've got to lose. I've got an answer come see me. Thursdays and Saturdays. Hey, 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 what have you got to lose? Chestnut brown canary, ruby-throated sparrow, sing a song, don't be long, thrill me to the marrow. Voices of the angel ring around the moonlight, asking me, says she's so free, how can you catch the sparrow? Lacy looked and lyric, who's in love lamenting. Change my life, make it right, be my life.